Nazarene on the track. Shalom, what's good? What's good, everyone? Well, I got some news. Now, this news might be sad for people like me, but it's great for the country of Kenya. So, Kenya is rising. The Kenyan shilling is rising against the dollar. Let me show you the official numbers so that we all on the same page. As of today, which is 17th February, as you can see, $1 is 144 shillings. Now, recently, it's reached as high as 162 shillings for $1. So, as you can see, the shilling is risen by a lot, more than 18 shillings in the last couple of days. And to me, this is sad because I make my money in dollars, pounds, euros, and other foreign currencies. So when the shilling is earning so much against the dollar, this goes to show that, unfortunately, the economy in Kenya is kind of good. Now, let me see how it is, let's see, pound to shilling, actually, because some of my money is in pounds. Yep, it's also fallen, right? 181 pound. Sorry. As you can see, it's the same thing over here, right? It's gone there, right? Of course, the dollar is used to actually set these prices. That's why the dollar is affected. As you can see, January 25th, 207 shillings was £1. That was the highest level there, man. I would have been good if I exchanged my money during that time. Now it's gone down to 181 shillings is £1. So, yeah, this is really great news for Kenya, but it's really sad news for people like me because it means that my money will not stretch the way that it used to. And of course, the economy is not going to change drastically immediately, right? Prices will still be similar, meaning the price is not going to go cheaper anytime soon. So, yes, my money is going to be worth less than it was previously. So, this is definitely unprecedented. Now, let's talk about it. Why has the Kenyan shilling increased? And, the answer is kind of simple, right? We don't need to go look too deep. I'll tell you right now, then we'll start to analyze a little bit of what's going on. And shout out to you, Chuku, my brother over there. Mashallah, right? So let's analyze some of the reasons why. The biggest reason is simple. Kenya just taken a new Eurobond, right? It's basically, I don't know how many billions of pounds it is or dollars. We can figure that out, right? But basically, this is one of the factors that affect the exchange rate, right? When there's a dollar scarcity in the country, like there was recently, because the country was trying really hard to pay back its debt, which are denominated in dollars, there was a scarcity of dollars, meaning it was hard to come by dollars in Kenya. So what that means is, with the central bank, they had to increase or the exchange rate basically made Kenya shillings weaker because the banks and the country was willing to take dollars at a reduced price in order to pay back its debt. That's more or less the largest contributing factor to why the Kenyan economy went the way it did. All right, let me just repeat that, make that really clear to everyone. When there's a scarcity of dollars, right, in the nation, and there was a scarcity of dollars in Kenya because they were paying back Eurobond, right, and other loans that the country took. It meant that the Central Bank of Kenya and other vendors and are willing to basically, buy dollars at an exaggerated rate because they need it. That's it. Now, since Kenya has taken a new Eurobond, right, that means that now there's a surplus of dollars. There's over $1 billion surplus, right? What that means is there is no longer a dollar scarcity in Kenya. Now, yes, that $1 billion is going to go back to paying part of the previous Eurobonds that Kenya has taken. But, in theory, this is why the Kenyan shilling has gone stronger. However, as I mentioned, I don't believe that this is going to remain this way. I don't think that the shilling is going to remain strong at 181. Let's go back to the dollar denomination since most people understand that better. I don't think that because look at this map here, right? Just recently, it was 162 shillings. That's the highest it's ever been, ever actually in history. And right now, it's gone all the way down to 144 shillings for $1. So I don't think it's going to stay there, right? I think as soon as this euro dollar gets spent on paying back, um, you know, uh, uh, in paying back the debt, right? It's going to actually cause issues. So let me just explain to you what's happened, right? Um, and this is why it's important for African countries to pay back the debts. When you pay back your debts, it means other people who are willing to loan you money will still loan you money. Yes, you are in a constant cycle of debt, paying back other debts, using the new debt, and possibly having a small little bit of extra money to do what you actually wanted to do with it. But when you default, like Ethiopia or Ghana, what happens is you become bankrupt, right? You now invite IMF economic restructure adjustments into your nation. So you invite them by not paying back. And here's the thing: if you don't adjust to the IMF standards, they won't give you money, right? So as much as we Black or African people love to blame IMF, at the end of the day, right, we don't pay back our debts. Our politicians steal the money and put it all sorts of other places apart from the economy to do the job. And then we complain when the IMF puts strict standards. Yes, they do put strict standards on us, and yes, they do put standards that benefit them more than it benefits us. But I still don't understand why that's wrong. If we're not the ones who are fiscally responsible, because here's the thing, right? I'm a conservative when it comes to handling money, right, and economics, finances, sorry, at home. So if that's the case, if I'm living frugally, when there's money surplus, I live a little bit better, but I still always have some kind of minimum rule. Maybe I save 20% every month, maybe I save 50% in some months, etc. But I have a rule: at least I save 20% of the money I make every month. So if I'm living so fiscally responsible, and I'm looking at another family, perhaps a poorer family, they earn almost as much as me, but somehow they never have money. I'm not going to feel anything for that family because I know how they spend their money. So in the same way, as much as I'm an African, right, as much as I believe in Pan-Africanism, I can't just blame the IMF for putting all these economic adjustments in our nations if I know that our nations are fiscally irresponsible. I mean, I think at some point we have to be realistic about what we're arguing with and what we're arguing for. So yes, Kenyan economy is improving, but I believe this is all for show, as I mentioned, right? Um, Kenya has just taken a eurobond. Let me see how much the eurobond is worth, so that we can discuss on that. But that is the reason why the eurobond, I mean, the shilling is increased in value. Chuku says $1 is trading for 1,500 naira for the same reason. That's crazy. I thought it was like 800 naira. Right now it's 1,500. Let me just confirm that, right? Since we educate people here as well, dollar to naira. If that's true, that's insane. Um, okay. It's 800, right? But yes, there was a big jump from 400 to 800. Let me just share my screen. Over here, there to there. Exactly, because of Eurobonds, right? Payments and loans that these governments take. Yeah, this is exactly what happened there, right? Nigeria was having issues with loans, and then it went from 459 naira is $1 to over 800. Right now, it's just stabilized at. It's not even stabilized. It's just very artificial, right? Since November, the government has just set a standard, and let me explain to you, right, how these standards are set, because it's a little bit complex, but I'll try to give my basic understanding of it, right? Nigerian central bank can actually control and tell you how much a naira is worth to the dollar. They can state that, but at the end of the day, it's irrelevant, right? Because what matters is, are other people willing to buy your naira, and what value are they willing to buy it at? You can control your own economy within your own nation based on how much dollars, pounds, and euros you have, and you can basically sell the dollars to your own population at the rate that you want. So the central bank decides these numbers realistically when it's a fixed situation. So Nigeria was fixed all the way from, you see, February over there, all the way to June 2023. It was fixed. Then when Nigeria removed the economy from being fixed to a floating economy, the market now decided its value, and they realized actually with all the debts and the scarcity of dollars that the naira was really actually 800 nairas for $1 instead of the 400 and something nairas for the dollar. So realistically, the naira in Nigeria actually readjusted itself to its true value. That's what happens, right? The governments can fix these things, and that's why. And again, this is why we don't have an African currency, because Pan Africans love to talk about stuff, but they don't like studying why things are the way they are. We can't have an African currency because African governments can't be trusted to be fiscally responsible. It's simple as that, right? And this is not unique to African nations. Any nation that's ever been able to do a multi-regional currency, or rather any nations, group of nations that have been able to be functional and create a multi-regional currency, they're exceptional, right? I'm not even looking down at African nations saying, oh, they're dusty. Well, most people are dusty, right? When Germany and the European Union did it, it took them a while before they did it, but they did do it because they were able to unify a large economic area. And now the euro is 20% of the global trade network. 20%. The dollar is about 60%, and the rest of it is shared between the pound, which is like 5%, and the yen is like 5%, and then the other currencies. So as you can see clearly, these countries in Europe did something significant in order to create a regional currency. But right now in Africa, we got ECOWAS disintegrating with three countries leaving it: Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. You have other issues within Congo, right? They kicked out the Kenyans. Now they brought in the South Africans. The South Africans saying, no, we don't want to be there because they're dying and they want to leave Congo. So a lot of issues are happening in Africa. Then you have the fiscal irresponsibility of most African leaders, right? Whereby the economies can't even be stable. As we mentioned here with the Naira, literally it's a night and day, 780 Naira to 400 and something Naira. With the Kenyan shilling as well, right now we're having artificial inflation or deflation of the shilling, right? All the way from 162 to 144. That's a significant jump. And that will actually hurt my pockets a little bit there, right? But as you can see, 163 shillings all the way down to 144 shillings right now, right? This to me, as I said before, I don't really believe that this is real. This is just because Kenya took a Eurobond. So right now, Kenya believes that they have a surplus of at least $1 billion. But yeah, let's go ahead and actually figure out how much the Eurobond um, that Kenya took is actually worth. Because I haven't done a deep dive yet on that, but we can try to figure it out together. Let me share my screen again. Cool. So Kenya's Eurobond attracts more than $5 billion in orders. Okay. A nation to sell $1.5 billion of 7-year notes at 10.3% interest. So yeah, so let's go ahead and try to figure out what's going on here, right? So let's break it down and try to understand together, right? You've got a 10.3% interest rate. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's the interest rate that the investors who are giving Kenya that $1.5 billion are going to get back, right? So, if Kenya is out there borrowing $1.5 billion, right? Because here's the thing, right? Kenya writes the bills, right? Kenya writes the Eurobond, right? Kenya says, here's a Eurobond worth $1.5 billion. Then they send it to the market, and then people go and buy that bill from Kenya. It's a promise, right? A bill, it's like a treasury, it's a bond, right? This bond makes a promise that Kenya will pay back $1.5 billion with a 10% interest rate. Now, I don't know. I haven't done it. Okay. Now, I haven't done any research to kind of figure out if this is per year or for the whole amount. And, that's not, I have not done that yet. But all we know is that Kenya is having at least $1.5 billion extra. And they have already sold this, meaning, guys, this is just an artificial inflation. Kenya's economy is not going to have changed unless the government does something with that money. But they're going to use some money to service the other Eurobond debts that they have. I mean, this is how it works, right? You take one loan to service another loan, then you have some small money left over to do what you need to do it with. Now, if Kenya's smart, they won't be using those dollars to pay off politicians and government workers. they'll find another way to pay those people. What they will do if they're smart is they would go and invest in something that will return more money than that 10% interest. Because at the end of the day, look, if you take out a loan and it has 10% interest rate, right? With an interest rate of 10, well, let me, for some reason, I think I forgot maths, right? 10% of $1 billion is what, $100 million. So I guess $150 million, right? So the interest rate is over $150 million, right? Kenya needs to have made a profit of over $150 million in order for this to have been a good investment, right? And this looking at this from a isolated sort of manner. But knowing that Kenya already has other debts, it needs to ideally make over 100% profit on this money so that they can remove themselves from debt. Otherwise, they will be stuck in that sort of thing. Anyway, guys, we'll be coming back from the break in about 3 minutes. Welcome to the Kaizorian experience. Over here, we're going to be talking about everything African. We're going to be having debates, discussions, entertainment, as well as learning about business, art, history, and everything in between. Cultural, tribalism, and everything. We're going to be out here debating with some really interesting stuff. So like the video, share the video, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe for the best experience ever. This is the biggest channel on the Afrosphere. So come and join the team, become a Kaizorian, and join the Kaizorian Empire. Universally exist within myself, within this premise, and I exist within this bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly like the blue sky. I'ma fly like bird in the sky. I'ma fly like bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly like bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly like bluebird in the sky. I'ma throw my bluebird in the sky. I'ma soar like bluebird in the sky. I'ma soar like bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly like bluebird in the sky. I'ma fight like bluebird in the sky. I'ma eat like bluebird in the sky. I'ma be like bluebird in the sky. I'ma be bluebird in the sky. I'ma be free, bluebird in the sky. I'ma be free like bluebird in the sky. I'ma be like bluebird in the sky. Back again like the second coming. Strumming my vocal cords like the hummingbird in the sky. Y'all can't deny this. Real rap lyrics, it's like I ain't got no rhyming through the sky limit. What is skin tone, shade of color, but a parallel form of frequency like a ringtone on your phone. Melanin expression tied up in the universe, feeling like God's. Is it really us? Is it serious? Is it really wrong to be diverse? I'm a divergent, immerse myself like an ocean beneath this waves. Be a divergent, born to be different. Indigo child, wild like canary. Born to be a bluebird in the sky, flying high like a bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly high, bluebird in the sky. Yeah, bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly high, bluebird in the sky. I'ma be like bluebird in the sky. I'ma be like bluebird in the sky. Everybody scream bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly high, bluebird in the sky. I'ma be like bluebird in the sky. Yeah, bluebird in the sky. Everybody, bluebird. So guys, as we're back right now, as I was saying, right, Kenya's Eurobond attracts more than $5 billion in orders, right? The nation has sold $1.5 billion on a 7-year note, right? Treasury note at 10%, right? Or 10.3%. That means Kenya owes the white people, right? Because obviously niggas ain't giving Kenya this money, over $150 million just on interest. So that means if these politicians are corrupt, they don't invest that money in something that will yield an equivalent, at the very minimum, equivalent amount of interest, $150 million, Kenya is going to be in more debt. And this is what's been happening over and over and over, in case people don't seem to know. Why are African nations in debt? And why? It's because they don't actually pay back the interest rates. They take on a new debt to service the interest, and then they keep living off that. And then, of course, some countries are too dusty and they don't even pay back the interest rate. So that is actually, unfortunately, what keeps happening. And that's why our nations are where they are at the moment. So, yeah, right now, Kenya has an artificial deflation, right? The money's moved before. Thank God I removed a significant amount of money from dollars there, right? But right now, the dollar was 162 shillings to $1. Right now, it's only 144. And it's going to keep falling until it reaches 135. This is my prediction. And it's going to stabilize there. What that means again, guys, is the Kenyans think this is a good thing, right? They're gonna think, let me sell my dollars. No, don't sell your dollars, right? That would be silly. Ultimately, the Kenyan shilling will reach 200 shillings for $1 in the next 2 years. This is just a slight dollar surplus that the government is experiencing because of this new treasury bill that Kenya has just sold. $1.5 billion is in the market, liquid, and that is what's happening. So, as I mentioned again, if the Kenyan politicians are smart, they will not use the money to pay off government workers, and if they're smart, they will pay back the interest rate on their other Eurobond loans, but they will use the significant remaining money. Maybe just take 500 million of it, invest in a tech company that has a high yield return of processing something in the next 5 years before the 7 year period. Take a risk in something that, even if you don't pay off the money in the next 5 years, if you continue doing the same thing in the next 10 years, it will yield exponential growth. I want African nations to think about growth rather than thinking only about things from a very, very sort of fixed mindset.
Time for business, and in recent days, the Kenya shilling has gained ground against the US dollar. According to experts, the continuous rally is a result of the inflows received by the government in January from major multilateral institutions, as well as the successful issue of the $1.5 billion denominated Eurobond that has been relieved the country of the pressure to repay its inaugural $2 billion bond. Jimmy Mbogo now tracks the behavior of the shilling and its marginal gains against the dollar, and just what it will take to ensure the Kenyan currency holds still.
The continuous rally of the Kenyan shilling over the last week has signaled a significant tide turn for the currency, which was expected to shed more value this year after the shilling hit an all-time high of over 160 against the US dollar. A trajectory that now seems to change with the inflow of dollar-denominated support from the International Monetary Fund (IMF), which disbursed $684 million in January 18th, followed by another disbursement from the Trade Development Bank on the 24th of January this year to a tune of $385 million. With the Africa Development Bank set to further increase the dollar liquidity in the country by an additional disbursement of $88 million.
Yep. So obviously the African bank seems to have been helping here. But Kidola, what do you think is going on in Kenya? Do you think that this Kenya shilling will keep rising, or this is just artificial?
Bro, depends on the Kenyan economy. You understand me? I really don't know what Kenya is producing or how far. I know it's a tourist zone. And you said Kenya just borrow some, take a loan, right?
Yeah, they just took a loan from Eurobond. Yeah.
Okay, taking a loan, that might play into why Kenya currency is becoming more stronger. But also, you have to understand, Kenya might have a very strong currency reserve, you understand? So they must see, okay, they must see the tradition that might be, they have a lot of money then with them now. And maybe the economy is also getting better. You know, what is going out, also what is coming in. So, and if the government, you have to understand, the system of government have to do with actually, you know, if the people are also less corrupt. So I think Kenya is a very good example how to run a standard economy, but I don't know how long this will take. You know, Africa change of government also affect a lot of things also. You know, so let's see what they do with what they borrowed. You understand me? In the past, Kenya borrowed a lot of money also for China, and we know what will happen. You know, after a while. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
let's see what happens within a year from now. If this music can still be the same type of music also.
Right. I see. Yeah, I generally agree with what you're saying. So, in terms of the Kenyan economy, we don't we export things, but we don't really produce anything too significant. So, we export things like tea, coffee, and flowers, avocado, dragon fruit. The problem with these items is that they're not necessary for economies to function. For example, we try to sell tea to Egypt and India. They said they don't have dollars to pay for it, so they wanted to pay in their own currency. and that is obviously an issue that we had. So the issue is with these countries that they don't really produce anything. We are sort of selling them things that they don't really need but they want, and it's not like they want it in a way that they're willing to always pay for it. So as I mentioned, this is sad for me though, because my dollars is now worth less than it used to be. I'll have to deal with that. Before, I'm out there sending £1 is 200 shilling. I'm like, yo, now £1 is 180 shilling. That 20 shilling is a big.
How much was 1 pound?
£1 is used to be 207 shilling. Now it's 181 shilling.
Yeah, yeah, it's 200 and something.
Yeah.
So you see, Kenya one is better, man. If you have to compare the shit we
Oh,
passing
Nigeria
down
is
in
$1 is
Nigeria,
800.
the shit we passing down in Nigeria, man. The inflation rate. You see, when you give people power, look, the people that be look, Nigeria have changed from the good old days from Obasanjo, who brought in some expatriates, down to Jonathan, but Jonathan people were heavily corrupt. You understand me? The Obuari
Mhm.
came in, Buhari's men said, "Oh, you just swear for me. I'm the best in this game of corruption." You understand me? They be borrowing, corrupting everything. Then this guy came in, man. I don't think this guy even know what is even going on when he accept that power. Now everybody's running head and scatter. I'm not gonna lie to
Mhm.
you, man. There's fire burning in everybody's ass right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Really, really. That fire is burning everybody's ass right now. The petrol price is skyrocketing. The so they don't even know what to do. And I bet you in their mind they are fucking scared what will come next.
Yeah.
Because what will come next, don't be surprised, but don't be too far from neighboring countries.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, wait, wait. Shit, shit, shit. This guy was right. Chuku, you were correct. I thought you're kidding. What the fuck?
No, the dollar now is
Wait, wait.
about
Let
that.
me.
The dollar
He
now
is
is
right.
about that.
What
The
the
dollar is about 1,000,
what the fuck?
1,006.
I'm done. Nigeria
It's
is.
about one.
I don't.
No,
What the?
no, forget this Google. This Google is not correct. A dollar now, a dollar now is about 1,000 something. I bet you, man, 7 months ago, I changed all my money to dollars because I
Wow.
noticed my wife. My wife is an economics analyst. You understand me?
Yeah.
So you already predicted this thing will happen. That's 7 months ago. You understand me?
I need to do a
So
show on this. This is
yeah, man.
insane,
So I
Ola.
keep
Look,
my brother. You can't
just 1 year.
just
Go ahead. Go
one
ahead.
less than 1 year, less than 1 year. Less than 1 year. I was already
June
saying the thing, but
2023.
but my wife told me
450
that look,
naira. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Then my wife told me, look, this might get rough. The man immediately, man. I went to those aboki over there, man. I changed every shit down there, then hide it in cash in my own self, not even in the bank.
Man, this is crazy. This is a
Very,
this
very
one is
dangerous.
unprecedented.
No,
Nangmezia,
That
what's your
is great
thoughts,
news.
man?
This is great news when we verified it. That's what it was. I had the biggest smile on my face like a kid around the Christmas tree. The destruction of Nigeria and its economy just brings me joy. So I hope that shithole country really just gets flushed down the toilet. And we're watching it happen in real time.
now, Busy, don't deceive yourself, man. We've been in this situation before, man. We will always come out of it. You see Nigeria from far. Nigeria, there's not we 86 we won't time like this. 80s we won't time like this. We always come of eye. Only that these people um that plunged this country into this disarray will always find a way. They will be punished. You understand me? That's one shot for you, man. So Nigeria is not going nowhere. Nigeria's going to
Well,
stand.
in the words of the great Little Wayne, he said, tougher than Nigerian hair. You guys are tough, so you will get through it, but it's fun seeing you struggle. You know,
Nah, man.
I
This is
just
just.
love it. I just love it.
Oh, no, you can no, you can love it, but look at Zimbabwe. Is Zimbabwe not still together? So you have to understand, and why Nigeria is even stronger than Zimbabwe. We can be vocal in against our government and everything. But bet you, man, we like each other a lot. So that, but the thing that these people will pay a price. Those that commit this crime, look, you cannot be commit a crime every time. Every time you think, oh, this how it will always will be. I bet you some of these politicians mind they're scared what will come next, and what will come next might not be far from the neighbors. This and Nigerians are very good at that. They're very
Hey,
patient to
Ola,
look
I
at.
have a question, brother. Wasn't the president of Nigeria selling drugs in America?
Yeah, that's you see, you
Wait,
ask a
wait. I
question.
mean,
Hold
he
on,
was
hold
at
on, hold
least.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. No,
You guys,
hold on.
the
Now, Kenny,
original
no, no,
Pukio.
no, 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 no. Now, let me tell you one thing. I have to be a little bit, you know, tactical here. Because I live in this country, man, and
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm not scared. Hold on, I'm not scared. You see, the worst leaders we have in Nigeria, I'm still saying it continuously. These leaders are the ones that went to United States or Britain to study. These leaders that have some kind of integration into United States type of life or system